Hello and welcome back to Maskcast. My name is Nick Johns. I am a TV producer and I am a self-confessed Masked Singer superfan. Now, every Thursday we are going to be super fan focused and we are going to be hearing from you with your theories about who is behind those masks. I'm also going to be talking to the people who make the Masked Singer magic happen. On today's show, I'm going to be joined by Rhino as he attempts his toughest Masked Singer challenge yet. And that is my fan quiz, Mastermind. I am very excited to say that on today's podcast, we are going to be joined by the creative director of Bandicoot, Dan Nettleton. Each week, Dan is going to be joining us to answer one big question about the Masked Singer, and that is in an item that we are calling Dansplaining.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
Please welcome to the podcast, Dan Nettleton.
Hi, thanks Nick. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Very excited about the new series.
What can we expect from the new series, Dan?
Some of the best performances that you've ever seen. Some of the craziest costumes you've ever seen. Some amazing celebrity panel guests, I think, this year. And it's a lovely story arc from beginning to end. You're going to love it.
We're loving it already, Dan. Are you, just as a question, are you allowed to have favourites?
I think we are allowed to have favourites once the show is up and running. Absolutely. I think beforehand, once the show is up and running, it's all out of our hands. It's a studio vote, so we don't get to choose who goes through and who doesn't. So, yes, you can always have favourites. But I can tell you from previous series, it's not actually great to have me championing you. I have got quite a bad record in the gallery of backing the wrong person. Going all the way back to Chameleon, back in Series 1, who I absolutely adored. And I got really excited about him, and then he went. So as soon as I sort of expressed my excitement for him, he was gone in the next episode.
Listen, we've seen all the characters for this series. Tell me who your favourite is.
In terms of the costume, it's going to be you're going to struggle to beat Air Fryer. Now, Air Fryer came about when we were brainstorming ideas for the Christmas show, in fact. And we was like, I suggested it would be amazing if we had that year's sort of top Christmas gift. And I was going to say, well, it's got to be an air fryer, right? And we just thought, what if we could do an air fryer? Wouldn't it be amazing? And so we loved the idea so much, we thought it'd be a shame to have an air fryer on just one episode. And it was a bit surreal for a Christmas show. So air fryer got bumped into Series 5. So I think that's my favourite costume. It's also got an amazing bit of kit, which we've never used before, where it's got sort of like a monitor as a face, which we can activate live in real time, so you can see it almost appears as Air Fryer's singing, which she is.
I honestly thought that Robo Bunny was going to be the pinnacle of robot technology on the Masked Singer.
Absolutely, me too.
So Dan, this week's question, I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning, and I want you to tell me the origin story of this show. How did this crazy show come to be on the telly in the first place?
It all begins back in 2015 in Korea. Now, the show initially over there, and still is to this day, is just paper masks. Very, very simple paper masks, and then they sing. And the other thing about their show that's different to every other territory is that it never stops. It just goes on week after week after week. It's winner stays on. Anyway, so that was poddling along nicely on in Korea for a couple of years. And then Thailand got hold of it. And Thailand took the paper masks and turned them into more elaborate masks. And at this point, they started to go viral. And it sort of made its way to the West. It was the most viral clip on YouTube. I think it was in 2017. But then it sort of all drifted away again because it just appeared to be some weird Korean show where famous people dress up in costumes, which of course we now know it's much, much more to it. Now, to put that in context, Derek, my business partner, he's originated quite a few big panel shows like Would I Lie to You, 8 out of 10 Cats, those kind of shows. And my backstory is Big Brother, and I'm a celebrity, where I would do the tasks and games, which would, a lot of the time was dressing celebrities in silly costumes and making them do silly stuff. And he said, it's totally in your wheelhouse. If anyone in the UK was to make this show, it should be you two. So then Derek, not knowing what to do, got on the phone to Korea every night, in the middle of the night, waking up, setting his alarm, trying to speak to someone who spoke English. He eventually got through to someone, and just before the big majors, because we were a small, tiny indie at that point, just before the big majors could swoop in, we signed a deal with them. And it was like a big risk for us at that time. It hadn't been on Fox. It was our entire development budget for a year. And anyway, we then went, I jumped on a plane because they were filming the semi-final and final the next day in LA. So I land at sort of like 9 at night, and I'm back in the studio at 9 a.m. They record their shows at 9 a.m. sometimes. Really weird experience. So I sit there, and at this point, all I think I'm going to do is see some celebrities in silly costumes. And then I see my first Clues VT, and suddenly I get it. I know why it's a hit in Korea. I know why it's a hit in Vietnam and Thailand and all those countries. I know why Fox would take a punt on it. And I know it's going to be massive. And I realised within the first Clues VT, I'm talking to these complete strangers left and right, making guesses as to who they think it is. It's the most addictive show. And so I watched the semi-final and I watched the final in the gallery, and I knew this was going to be massive. And one of the things I wrote down, so I was writing notes for Derek, because obviously he wasn't there, and I remember writing down, this is the most British Korean format you would ever have. There's so many tropes from The Masked Singer that are so British, sort of end of the pier, silliness. We've got to be one of the most silly nations in the world. So I then get on a plane, immediately after the show, fly home, and I say to Derek, it's going to be amazing. Derek's first question was, what celebrities, what level of celebrity have you got over? Because it's got to, you've got to have a good level of celebrity for this show to work. And I went, but I'm not telling you. You went, what? If you understood the show, you would know I can't tell you. You absolutely, that's the whole show. We then took it out to the networks. We took it to BBC, we took it to ITV, we took it to Channel 4, we took it anywhere, and no one was interested. So that was probably about September. So it then went into the edit in America, and I knew it was launching in January 2019. And so we just waited for then, and it launched, and it was the biggest entertainment launch in the last 10 years in the States. And suddenly the phones started ringing from all those people that laughed us out the door, wanted to take us to the Ivy, wanted to come and see us now. Come and see us. And, its natural home is ITV. So that's where we always thought it should be. They do these kind of shows really well. And that's how it turned out. And it wasn't until January 2020 that we finally made it to screen when we optioned it in 2018 in summer.
How hard did you have to make it work to shape that first series for the UK? What was the approach that you wanted to take with it? What modifications, what learnings, what did you take into that first series?
We wanted it to feel very British. So, and we wanted that reflected in the costumes. We also wanted our costumes to be the best in the world, in that without downplaying other nations, they often just have an elaborate mask and some kind of suit. We wanted ours to be head to toe craziness, sort of Hollywood creations was what we pitched it to ITV as. We also wanted our set to be bigger. There's a set that sort of follows the other nations around. We started from scratch, and we brought in the guy who does the Eurovision Song Contest's sets, and he designed this amazing set for us with those just ginormous masks that we could project onto. No one else could do that. We just wanted to do everything we could push, we would push. And the crucial thing, I think, for us was the genesis of the panel, because trying to get the chemistry right on a panel is very, very hard. And I think that was the setup, the thing we had the most meetings about, the most conversations about. But I think ultimately we got it right.
You definitely got it right, because that panel gelled so well together from the beginning, right? What were you looking for in those judges? What did they need to bring to the table in the first place?
Because it's not a traditional singing show, we wanted to make that clear. We made sure that they were always a panel or showbiz detectives. They were never judges, and that was important for us because we wanted to attract the best talent we can. We wanted to say, you're not going to come on here and someone's going to be mean to you. It's all going to be joyous. So we wanted that reflected. Now, Jonathan Ross clearly has had everyone on his sofa. He knows everyone. So when it comes to guessing and knowing about celebrities, he's quite obvious as a selection. We wanted someone to reflect the viewers at home. And Nick, you and I know that I've worked with Davina for years and years and years, and she has the excitement that I have when I watch The Masked Singer. She reflects the viewer at home. We wanted someone who knew their salt when it came to vocals, and we also wanted to elevate again the panel to A-list, and so Rita Ora was on the top of the team sheet quite early on as well. Then when I was out in the States, I'd met Ken at the rap party of the first series, and I thought he was hilarious. And so we brought him along to be a sort of sense of, there's the Korean background, so he could sort of explain that, he's been on The Masked Singer in Korea, but also, again, bringing that sense of mayhem and nuttiness. Now, obviously, COVID happened for Series 2, and Ken couldn't come over, but luckily we again went back to the drawing board, and Mo was just in his ascension at that time, and we thought he'd be perfect. And again, we were so worried on that first couple of shows, is Mo going to be right? And when we saw the first cut of the first show, we were absolutely sure that Mo was right. And yeah, we're very lucky that the panel genuinely all get on. I'm not just saying that. You've been to the studio, Nick. You've seen how much they just love the show. When it's a 5-hour record and they're still talking about it throughout the show, that's all they're talking about. They're obsessed with it, as we are, which is brilliant. You need it. You don't want people just to turn up. They live and breathe the show whilst it's being recorded.
I honestly think, Dan, and I mean this, I think I've never experienced a TV show where the talent around it feels so much ownership of it. And actually there's another person that really goes to making that happen, and that's Joel. Can you talk to us a bit about Joel's involvement in it and how you sold it into him?
Joel is an absolute revelation. If you see his progression in the show, in terms of, when in Series 1, he was sort of pretty much sort of signposted, what we call traffic wardening, sort of saying, next up is this. Now, it's his vehicle. He has gone in massive ascension, and we're really glad that it wasn't our decision as Bandicoot. It was ITV's suggestion. I think it might have been all the way up to the top of Kevin Ligo that suggested Joel. And we were like, yeah, let's give it a go. And he's been absolutely marvellous. His sort of adoration of Jonathan, his sort of pally with Mo, pally with Rita, loves Davina from when he was growing up. You sort of have that, but now I feel like in Series 5, he's just hilarious. He's just the star now.
One of my favourite things about the learning from that is that it really shows you that risks pay off. If you're prepared to take them, then creative risks are the best thing that you can do.
Yeah, and we can only thank ITV for that. They went full pelt behind us. It was really good.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
We heard from the iconic contestant and now fully fledged judge on our last podcast episode, and he told us he was such a big Masked Singer fan, we thought it only right we put him to the test. Welcome back, Charlie Simpson, the rip-roaring, dancing and singing Rhino.
Not sure about dancing, but thanks.
There was a bit of movement there, Charlie, wasn't there?
Was. I did try and avoid that at all costs, if I'm honest. I was like, look, I'm happy to do anything. I'm just a rubbish dancer.
Right, are you ready for this?
Yes.
I'm about to put you to the test. I'm trying to call it Mastermind, Charlie, but no one's really going for it.
I like it. Go for it.
Yeah? Okay. I've selected 5 questions from the official Masked Singer board game that I got for Christmas. You will have 10 seconds to answer
I haven't got them.
correctly.
I want the board game.
I can send you a board game.
Yeah, send me
that's
a board game.
That's probably a good thing for these 5 questions.
Okay, fine.
You've got 10 seconds on each one. I'm going to take your final answer, and those of you at home, you can play along too. If you shout loud enough, I might even be able to hear you. Right, Charlie, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I'm not sure how good I'm going to be, but I'm ready.
Right, let's do it. You've got 5 questions. Don't let me down. Question number 1. Which character won the first series of The Masked Singer? Is it A, Octopus, Is it B, hedgehog, or is it C, queen bee?
Oh. Okay. Well, my answer's B.
Hedgehog. I can tell you the correct answer. It's C, queen bee. So, question number 2. Which of these masked singers is also a Spice Girl? Is it A, alien? Is it B, seahorse? Or is it C, butterfly?
I think it's seahorse.
It is seahorse.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I nearly said alien.
That's 1 point on the board. Seahorse, Mel B. Alien
Yes.
was Sophie Ellis-Bextor. Question number 3. In which year did The Masked Singer first broadcast in the UK? Is it A, 2018? Is it B, 2019? Or is it C, 2020?
I think it was 2020.
It is 2020.
Yes.
You're really warming up. That's
Yes,
2 for 3. Right, here's number 4. Which of these masked singers has had a UK number 1 single? Is it A, Martine McCutcheon? Is it B, Justin Hawkins? Or is it C, Khalees?
Oh, that's tough. I was going to say Martin McCutcheon. I'm going to say Martin McCutcheon.
You would say Martine McCutcheon because that is correct, Charlie.
Yeah. Woo!
3 points. So, can we make it 4? Here we go. Which masked celebrity headlined Glastonbury in 1999?
I know the answer to this already. You don't even have to say it.
Go for it.
It is Skin.
It is B, Skin. Congratulations. 4 out of 5. That puts
Yes.
you at the very top of our leaderboard.
Aren't I the only one on the leaderboard?
You currently are the leaderboard.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
Now, here on Maskcast, we are going to pick over the best of the clues and see if it helps me solve any of those masked mysteries. I have picked 3 clues from this week's episode, and I have gone on what can only be described as a Wikipedia wild goose chase trying to work them out. This is the clue review. Now, the first clue that I want to talk about is from that very first performance, and that was Maypole.
The audience are watching, so I'll give it this sell. It's something I've learnt since the year of Orwell.
Now, I've been thinking about that for a while. Orwell's Year has to be the name of one of his most famous books, and that is 1984. So it's made me think of 2 things. Was Maypole born in 1984? And if Maypole was born in 1984, is she Katy Perry? Is she Avril Lavigne? Is she Delta Goodrem? The last on my list is honestly the best one. If Maypole was born in 1984, is she Kelly Osbourne? The other thing that I've been thinking about, right, is that clue could be telling us a little bit more than Maypole's date of birth. Now, one of the most famous things referenced in 1984 is Big Brother. Is it too much of a stretch to think that we might have seen Maypole in the celebrity Big Brother house? I've done a little bit of digging around some names. Is she Michelle Heaton? Is she Natasha Hamilton? Is she Megan McKenna? Again, I've saved the best one for last. Is Maypole Amelia Lilly? Search up Amelia Lilly performing Billie Jean on the X Factor live shows. She has got a proper rocky tone to her voice, just like our Maypole.
Act Activate beast mode. Ah! It's Bigfoot.
I'm saying you're welcome to that brilliant performance. That absolutely sounded like a man who was word perfect in that Maui rap long before he wore that Bigfoot costume. And as a dad to a 7-year-old Moana fan, I can tell you, you have to watch Moana many times for that rap to sink in. Is Bigfoot a celebrity dad with kids under 10? Is he Joe Wicks? In lockdown, I am fairly sure that I watched Joe Wicks performing that Maui rap while I was doing burpees during PE with Joe. I mean, if anyone can find me a clip of that moment, I'd be really grateful to relive it. Is he Ugo Monye? I mean, Ugo Monye performed as Maui for his couple's choice on Strictly Come Dancing. Surely he'd have learnt the rap while he was doing that. Is he Peter Andre? Peter Andre went viral when he shared a cake someone had made of him looking suspiciously like Maui. Was that Peter Andre this week that we heard singing You're Welcome?
Thank you!
And finally, I want to talk about a clue that has been keeping me up since Saturday, and that is the case of the missing you. I am totally baffled by Rat. And when we saw Rat standing next to a van in her clue package, it was advertising Rat's Skeeky services. Do you have any clue what that means? I have got a couple of theories for you, and I'm not sure that I like any of them. Since You've Been Gone and My Life Would Suck Without You, both big hits for Kelly Clarkson. With or Without You, that was a big hit for U2, and I have found a brilliant cover of that song performed by Beverly Knight. I mean, to be honest, I think I'm pushing the you thing a little bit too far, but I'm just going to throw in one more theory, and actually I really like this one. I've Been Missing You is a track by Texas. So is that Rat Texas lead singer Charlene Spiteri? And that one even makes the tartan fit.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
We have got the Superfan Super Take, and this is where I'm going to hand over to you to hear your theories on who is behind those masks. You have all been amazing in sending me your voice notes this week, so let's get into it.
Hi Maskcast, it's Derek from Gloucestershire here, really enjoying episode 1 of The Masked Singer, and I've just seen Maypole give her clues and her performance, and I'm thinking the sewing bee clue could mean it's Sarah Pascoe. I'm wondering if Dippy Egg is Anthony Cotton from Coronation Street. Just thought I could hear that in his voice.
Now, I'm quite interested to hear that theory about Anthony Cotton. Quite a few of you have been pointing towards a soap connection with Dippy Egg, so that is definitely something to keep an eye on.
Hi, I'm Lydia from Newcastle. I'm voting for Maypole. I think she's Josie Kidd because she's a model and I saw dancing shoes. I think I saw her on Strictly. I think I saw her win a medal for polo riding. I'm voting for Maypole.
I absolutely love this one, Lydia. The model connection, I spotted that myself. And actually, are those dancing shoes a clue to Strictly? Should we be looking at the cast of Strictly to see whether we can make some connections?
I'm Carla from the Cotswolds, and I absolutely loved the first episode. I thought it was brilliant. All the acts were great. But Dippy Egg in particular really caught my attention. I thought they had such a unique voice, and that really threw me off. But I'm going to go with my gut and I'm going to say it's Tony Audenshaw. I feel like I heard a Yorkshire twang and he's a singer in the band White Van Man. So we know he can sing. But I feel like an interesting connection that I've made is that in Emmerdale, obviously he plays Bob, and I'm pretty sure he's married to Jean. And in the song that he sang, Daydream Believer, obviously the lyrics are cheer up sleepy Jean. So I'm not sure if that's a connection or if I'm just making stuff up at thin air, but I can't wait to see the rest of the episodes and find out if I'm right.
Now, Carla, I think this is the work of a true clue detective. I want to hear from you again. And what do we think? Is Carla the first person to have nailed one of those guesses?
My name is Cammy, and I think that Bigfoot is David Attenborough because it's all about nature. And I think that Dippy Egg is Sam from I'm a Celeb because he is quite small and he's quite funny, so yeah.
I'm with you on that one, Carrie. Dippy Egg has got a lot of personality. There's obviously a lot of energy. Is it Sam Thompson, straight out of the jungle? We know that he's good at JLS. Let's keep an eye on it.
I'm Ilsa, and I think that Dippy Egg is someone from EastEnders or another popular soap show because all of the clues in the clue package were pointing that way.
We know those soap stars can sing, don't we? So I think you might be along the right lines.
Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Who's that behind the mask?
It's been so brilliant hearing from some of you Maskcasters, and I want to hear from more of you. So, any hour of the day or night, whether you're in the shower, whether you're at the supermarket, whether you're on the school run, get that phone out and send me a voice note. I want to hear your theories. So, voice note me on 07999 584 515. Or you can post on socials using the hashtag MaskedSingerUK and make sure you mention Maskcast in your message. And if you want to email, you can email on hello@bandicoot.tv. I'll be back on Monday with some more Masked Singer chat, but until then, it's bye for now, Maskcasters.
Who are ya? Who are